Welcome to the Careers by Jen podcast, episode 196. This time on the podcast, Jen speaks with Johnathan Grzybowski about how to unlock career success through traveling. Unless you're a professional basketball player.
You're listening to the Careers by Jen podcast with me, Jen Swanson, the podcast that helps you to get the job, love your work, and advance your career. Do you remember a time when you got out of town and suddenly got inspired? When a great idea or a new perspective hit just because you were somewhere outside of your usual routine, somewhere outside of your comfort zone, somewhere more interesting, somewhere different. My guest, Johnathan Grzybowski from Penji.co, swears by travel as a key piece to your career success. I begin our conversation by asking him what kind of travel he's talking about. Hear what he has to say right after this.
You've updated your resume, you've sent it out, and you've been selected for an interview. Congratulations! And now, you want to get ready. Really ready. This is where Careers by Jen can help. We have a comprehensive online course called How to Ace a Job Interview When You Haven't Interviewed in a Long Time. This video-based course is jam-packed with information, advice, and exercises to help you get completely prepared to walk into an interview situation with confidence. From exactly what to prepare in advance, to how to answer common questions, to what questions you might ask the interviewer, and so much more, this course is designed to get you ready. Visit careersbyjen.com and click on Training Resources to see the curriculum, preview a couple of the introductory lessons, and see what others who have taken the course are saying about it. Visit careersbyjen.com and get ready to ace your next interview.
So, Johnathan Grzybowski, my first question to you is, what kind of travel are we talking about?
The travel that expands your mind, gets you away from life and distractions. That is the travel that we're talking about today.
We're able to think without distractions.
To me, that is what travel unlocks, absolutely.
Okay. So our topic is unlocking career success through travel. And why did this happen to you? Like, tell me a little bit about how you came to feel that travel unlocks success in your life. Doesn't it stress you out? Doesn't it cost money and stress you out?
I mean, you can look at it from that perspective, absolutely. But to me, I would say that anytime, like, I've gone through something in my life, anytime that I've had an experience of some sorts, I've always had this urge to just get away. Yeah, so travel can definitely be stressful. A lot of people would say that I'm weird for liking travel and enjoying travel, but I do think that anytime that you're able to get away from the reality that you are constantly surrounding yourself, it leads to just so much potential, whether it's gaining different perspective, whether it's meeting new people, understanding different cultures. The list goes on and on and on. So for me, I might get a little stressed from like the plane ride or something like that, but I'm more excited to learn a different version of myself. And I think that's why, to me, travel is so important in all aspects of it, because you kind of shed a layer of skin and you come back from that trip a new person because you've had time within yourself to think and meditate, so to speak. And to me, I'm excited every time I get to travel because I just know that I'm coming back a better person.
Now, are we talking travel for work or we're talking for business travel? What kind of travel specifically do you mean?
I think it could be any form of travel. I can say for this story that I share, that I have, is more business travel. And I can say that, and even when like I visit my girlfriend who lives in the Midwest of the United States, and I'm here in right outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the United States, near Camden, New Jersey. It's about a 3 hour plane. It's about a 2.5 hour plane ride. That I definitely think on that plane because there's no distractions or anything like that. I do think a lot about that type of stuff, but I'm talking about business travel because there was a point in time in my life where it was a really dark place, and the business that I originally created wasn't making the impact that I wanted it to, and I was just confused and lost and not really knowing what to do. And then we went on a trip, and I went on a trip with my co-founder to Vietnam, and we sat in a ice cream store, ice cream shop, and the rest is history. The world has changed ever since that moment.
Okay, so tell us a little bit. What happened?
So we went to. So I've been a serial entrepreneur for the past 7 years of my life, and I've created several businesses and worked with a lot of incredible people and clients. And we created this marketing agency that was doing really well. We had about 12 people at that time. And we just knew that what we were doing was great, but it wasn't rewarding. And so we went to Vietnam because we have talent over there. We have team members over there. My business partner is Vietnamese. And we went on this trip for the purpose of just coming back different people. So we went to Ho Chi Minh, which is the capital, Saigon, and we also, in that same trip, we also went to a place called Phu Quoc, which is I hate to say, I went with my business partner is a male, and I very much so mentioned that I have a girlfriend. I went on more romantic experiences with my co-founder than I have ever gone with my girlfriend. So we went on this trip to Phu Quoc, and I didn't know this at the time, but it was the one of the top 10 most romantic islands in the world. And here we are sitting at this romantic, sunset beach, sipping on coconut, and we leave and we go to this ice cream parlor. I thought it was like the most romantic date in my life. And we sit down at this ice cream parlor, and he's like, you know what? We need to do this instead. We can't do what we're currently doing. And I wanted to punch him in his face. I was like, you are out of your damn mind. Like, we can't do this. We can't give up everything, and we can't move towards this new direction. And it was the best decision I've ever made in my life.
So
and
what made you say yes?
Because it just made sense. I think if anybody that's listening that has started a business that is entrepreneurial or knows somebody that's entrepreneurial, you kind of just you're gritty. You kind of go after it as much as you possibly can, and you try and figure it out and do as much as you can in order to make it work. And sometimes you have these rose tinted glasses, and you think that everything's good, even though you know deep down inside it's not. And the thing that was important for me was we weren't providing enough impact, and we weren't helping enough people. And that was something that my co-founder and I always wanted to do, is to help more people and to just make other people's lives better. And as a marketing company, we weren't doing that. We were helping like the big pharmas and the universities. Like we're helping big businesses with their problems, but we were forgetting about the people who run the economy, the people who make the most impact. And it's the small businesses. It's the people who are just like us. And so here we are with a company called Penji. We created it about 10 months ago. We have over 300 plus clients. We have 40 people worldwide. And it was just all because of that one experience from traveling. And it unlocked so much for us.
So do you think it was just being in a completely different environment than you normally would be that did that?
I would say so. Absolutely. Yeah. I think, I've learned a lot from that experience because, yeah, you're right. I think the same thing could have been done, in New York. It could have been done in a coffee shop in Philadelphia, but I think the aspect of getting on a plane, the amount of aspect of just being in a world that he knows the language where I had no clue what the language was. The different sounds that you're not used to, all of that just I think taps into like this cerebral thing in your brain that just allows you to just think differently. Yeah, that's kind of my thought.
I wonder for somebody who is maybe considering career transition, maybe not an entrepreneur, but somebody who's looking to move into a different job. But what happens if they can't travel? You said something about you could do the same thing in a coffee shop.
You can do the same thing in a coffee shop, but my thing is every time the people that are listening right now, they may want to be in that form of transition. I would ask myself this question to the people listening. What route are you taking every single day to work? Because I can almost guarantee you that you are stuck in a particular rhythm that you just know that you can't get out of. Or you want to get out of, but you may be afraid for what's on the other side. I think it starts with taking a different route to work because new roads, if you don't have the money, new smells, new businesses, new sites, all that stuff, that allows you to step out of your comfort zone. And it starts with just your travel to work. And then what you can do is you can sprinkle other things in between all of that. But I would say make a left instead of a right, or make a right instead of a left, or whatever that route is for you, just go a different way.
And how do you know that going with the new idea, because your mind starts to say, well, wait a minute, Johnathan, what about this? What about that? How do you know when when it feels like it's got enough energy to jump?
That is a really good question. And my gut reaction to your answer to your question is just you just know. And I know that's not the answer you're probably looking for, but for us we had a criteria, and it was like, does this hit all the marks? We want to be community conscious. So what we do is we do unlimited graphic design, all at one flat monthly rate. And so businesses hire us to do all their graphics. So if they need like a logo or like podcasting documents, or if they need like a website design or marketing materials, anything you can think of when it comes to graphic design, companies hire us and we do it for them as much as we can, unlimited for a monthly basis. So we wanted to do something that was community conscious. So we're from Camden. We hire local students. We couldn't do that when we were the past company. So that check was good for us. So it hit that criteria. The next thing was, are we making an impact to the world of business? And the past business was no. The new business was yes. And so that was a check mark. So we have a long list of checks that it crossed. So that was number one. But the second thing was it just made sense, like it helped enough people, and that's what we wanted to do. And so we just went all in, took the risk, and went for it.
So we're going to take a really quick break. And when we come back, I want to ask you about that idea of hitting all of the marks, about having a checklist. And so I want to ask you about that when we come back.
Are you procrastinating? Do you want to start a job search but aren't quite sure where to begin? Is it all just a little overwhelming? At Careers by Jen, we have a 5-day Jumpstart Your Job Search Challenge to help you get unstuck and move toward finding your dream job. Every day for 5 days, you'll receive an email to your inbox that asks you to complete one task. Every task you complete moves you closer toward your goal. The best part about this challenge is that it's absolutely free. Come over to careersbyjen.com and you'll see the 5-day Jumpstart Your Job Search Challenge on the right-hand side of the screen. Click on the image of Jen, sign up with your email address, and you'll be 5 days closer to reaching your goal. Why wait when you can get busy? Visit careersbyjen.com after this podcast.
So I'm speaking today with Johnathan Grzybowski from Penji.co. And Johnathan, when we left off, I wanted to ask you about this idea of having the criteria. So if somebody was looking for a new job, or somebody was looking to change their career because they're unhappy, it's not fulfilling their needs, somewhat like you said, your former business was not serving enough people, do you recommend people creating a checklist for themselves, even if it's an individual rather than a business?
I mean, you have to think about the person. You have to have a better understanding of like who you are and what you operate. I am at my core the most robotic person on the planet. The way I make decisions, the way I think, the way I act, I'm very robotic. So for me, it works, but to others, it's not going to. So I can give you my recipe. I have a criteria for every decision that I make. It's not sexy, it's not cute, but again, it just works for me. So every time something comes to my plate and I have to make a decision, whether it's to hire, fire, whether it's to move the company in a particular direction, I have to make sure that this decision is hitting all those marks. And again, they're not like fun things to talk about. It's just like, is this a selfish decision? Is this a selfish decision? What are the repercussions of this? Does this? What are the pros? What are the cons? So it's more like a pros and cons list, to be honest with you. I think anybody can do it. Yeah, I definitely think they can. And yeah, I'll just end there. I think anybody can do it, but the thing is, like, will you stick to it? That's the hard part. Because anybody can create a list, but like, are you going to live by it?
And when you say you're a robotic person, do you mean habitual? Like, is it habit? You always do the same thing? Is that what you mean?
I would say I do a lot of the same things. I look at guides that I've made internally to make sure that like I have a sheet on my computer where I have like my to-do lists, and so I have to check everything off. I wake up at relatively the same time. I go to the gym at the same time. I eat at the same times. I mean that's what my robotic tendencies would be.
Well, I've been reading a lot lately about successful people, and I just finished reading a book. Now, what was it called? The Power of Mini Habits, I think. I don't know if you're familiar with that one, but it was a very good book because it talked about that. It talked about doing the same thing, having the same habit, and how a mini habit, which is not a full-out habit, but even something ridiculously small that you would be silly not to do, can then grow your neurological connections and become a full-blown habit. And Absolutely. If you choose good things, but so I'm curious if the idea of using travel to break yourself out of your everyday routine, if that's what you're talking about, is sort of busting out of that, because your traveling routine would be totally different.
Absolutely, yeah. I think for me, travel is that escape because of I'm an extrovert by nature, although I've become an introvert because of entrepreneurship. But with that said, my first reaction is to get away. Is to break away and to do something, is to just take a risk. And it starts by just any time. I can literally think about every time that I've ever grown as a human being. It was from a trip, or it was from some form of doing something different that I'm not used to doing. And it's led to so much joy and happiness. I mean, I love my job. I love what I do. And it's not because I'm trying to get away from that. I'm more so trying to get away from myself and the energy that was once created in the rooms that I inhabit on a daily basis.
So the job that you're doing now, is this it, do you think? Is this the one?
I mean, listen, it's the one right now.
The serial entrepreneur, right? So
yeah, exactly. I mean, any entrepreneur is going to say it's all about the opportunity, but there's a special aura that's happening with Penji, and I'm just ecstatic to be a part of it, to be a co-founder of this amazing company, to be able to provide jobs to people and to be able to solve problems to business owners. It's a great feeling.
And so you're going to use this getting away from your routine, whether it's travel or just driving a different road or walking a different way sometimes, to make the next leap in your business, to make the next big decision, the next move.
Yeah, I actually want to expand on something, if that's okay, because I love what your business, your podcast artwork says. It says, get the job, love your work. And I want to challenge people that are listening that if you're trying to get the job and you're afraid of the competition or what have you, whatever it is that the people that are, whatever barriers that you have, I would challenge that if going back to the habits that we talked about in this conversation, going back to doing something unique, doing something different, putting yourself in these awkward situations that allow you to succeed, I challenge to go right to the top and find the person that you want to go at, find the job that you're looking for versus just settling for a job that pays the bills. And I think do you mind if I share a tip that somebody tried on us that has worked really well?
Sure.
So if it was, an individual will reach out to us and found out that I really like the WWE.
Right.
And so I'm a big wrestling fan. And so what they did was they did a little bit of research and they mailed something to us. And they said, hey, Johnathan, saw that you love WWE. Here's a picture of X. And hope you like it, and here's my resume, and they attached it. That like $5 investment that person made in order to, and the research, the 1 hour worth of research in order to find out what I like, it was a huge opportunity for that individual. And it allowed us to actually work with that person on a routine and ongoing basis because of the research that person initially invested into me, into the company. So I just throw that challenge out there to people that if you're not satisfied with your job and you want to work with a company, I challenge you to just do some research and find the person that's in charge and just reach out to them as warm as you possibly can. And I can almost guarantee you is gonna get you an interview.
That's great advice. Well, where can people find you if they want to know more about you, Johnathan?
So you could just go to penji.co. It's penji.co. Everything is attached to there. My heart, my is all there. So you'll be able to contact me right from the website. It's penji.co. If you send us an email, it'll get to me.
Perfect. We're having some Zoom trouble today, so there's a little bit of distortion happening there, but that's penji.co.
penji.co. And if you want to contact me directly, just send an email, talk about this podcast, and it'll be forwarded to me.
Perfect. So what's your last piece of advice for the Careers by Jen listener?
Yeah, I would just say step out of your comfort zone. Greatness is right around the corner, but it's not going to happen by doing the same things that you're doing right now. You have to do something different. And whether it's travel, whether it's taking a different road, whether it's waking up at a different hour, going to bed at a different hour at night, do something different, but be yourself.
Thanks for the conversation today.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to Careers by Jen with Jen Swanson. If you like what you heard, please share this. You know, if every single person listening today shared this episode with just one friend, our audience would be twice as big just like that. And the more people we can help with our content, the better. So help out a friend and help grow our audience by sharing this show with someone you know who would benefit from the content. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that, and together we can make a difference. Until next time, take good care.